all of the things you can whine about. How about shut the hell up? Honestly, I'm so done with the left right now. So done with you people. It is ridiculous that you would complain about such a thing when the thing is going to get finished on time. It's going to look absolutely amazing. It is under construction now, and there's nothing you can do about it. So how about KMB? How about KMB? Here's some of the caterwauling about the ballroom.
It is hard to watch that, and it's hard to believe that any president could destroy the White House. To take literally a wrecking ball to the White House.
I can't.
It's grotesque. Just grotesque.
No, it's not.
You don't own that building. That is the people's building. You don't own it. You don't own it. You cannot take it down. You don't own it. Take your behind to another town.
There's no greater metaphor right now than what's happening right now in this country than watching Donald Trump take a wrecking ball to the White House. Like, the powers that are in the D.C. are not standing up. They're acting as if they're powerless.
How about just shut up? You write a book, by the way, Corinne Jean-Pierre, who was a DEI hire, a terrible press spokesperson who tended to Joe Biden's walking corpse like Renfield did Dracula, and now she's doing a book. I didn't know she had dementia. I didn't know. I'm the only person other than, I don't know, Jake Tapper who didn't know he had dementia. Honestly. He just, released hostages from Israel. We'd been waiting forever. They were going to return home in boxes. He's secured a peace deal in the Middle East. He's working one on Ukraine. He did 6 others. The border is closed. The economy is rocking. $17 trillion coming into the economy. You're throwing these stupid temper tantrums like the no things, and now you're complaining that he's going to make an incredible structure on the White House grounds that people have been asking for years. Barack Obama converted a tennis court into a basketball court. Okay, wow. Oh, my God, that's hard. Take down the net, run a line of paint, put up a hoop. There you go. Wow, that's a big deal. This guy's actually found investors, companies that want to be a part of history, that want to help out. Not going to cost us any money at all. You weren't complaining when Joe Biden was the president and every metric of quality of life descended into the crapper. Like the price of groceries going through the ceiling, 50% groceries increase. Cars, 50% more. Homes doubled in price. Interest rates tripled. All of that happened. You could have given a rat's behind less. We're living in a time of plenty where we're beginning to see the light. America is strong again. The military is strong again. Donald Trump is kicking butt and taking names after you try to put him in jail and take his fortune and murder him. And you're still bitching and whining about stupid crap. Done. Honestly, you are speed bumps on our way to greatness, and you need to just get out of the way. How's that sound? I think it sounds kind of good. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. It's my birthday today. It's a little complicated because I'll just explain to you. I officially, I guess, recognize the 22nd of October as my birthday. I do this for legal reasons because the last birth certificate that I had 2 birth certificates. I was a very large baby. But I had two birth certificates, one at birth and one when I was adopted by my stepfather when I was 11. The one at birth said I was born on October the 23rd. The one when I was adopted by my father was the 22nd. I had always referred to the 23rd as my birthday because that makes me a Scorpio. So there you go. And it's an O birthday. It's one of those O birthdays. The last 3 O birthdays, people said, you're old, 30, 40, 50. There you go. And now, I know, that one. I remember Rush Limbaugh used to say, I can't wait to get older. I was like, what? You're out of your nut, man. I can't wait to get older. I'm like, why would you want to be older, Rush? Why? And then I realized, and I've realized this the last 5 years, and it came around at the right time from age 55 to where I am now. There's something that happens to your mind, combined with life experience, that opens you up to insights perhaps you would not have had as a younger person. I will cite AOC as an example. She's a moron. Although there are some people who are advanced age, far older than me, like Bernie Sanders, who never learn anything. But fortunately, I feel like my brain is crystallized and I'm able to see things like most people can't. We bring insight to this radio program that is ahead of the other shows. We led opinion the last 5 years as the left went after Donald Trump. We saw through all of the nonsense surrounding COVID, all of the nonsense surrounding disinformation and misinformation. I saw that, and I attribute my life experience for that. And so I'm grateful for it. And I did look on Twitter. I posted some pictures. I think it looked pretty damn good for a man of my age, to be quite honest. It is kind of strange to be divorced at this age. It's weird because the last time I dated versus now, only older women want to vote me or date me. When did that happen? It's weird. It's just kind of weird. Anyway, Donald Trump was on fire yesterday. He talked about Hamas. Listen to this. And by the way, Jim Gossett came up with a new parody that I wrote with him. I came up with the idea because it's a song that I knew because I know a lot about music. I've done big band. I've done alternative. I've done rock. I've done hot AC. I've done classical. I know everything. I know everything from show tunes to whatever. Every popular song from 1955 through about 2015. I know them all. I have a encyclopedia of, stuff up here that's not very useful until we come up with parodies. But I asked him to write this. I'm going to play it in a second. But first, I'm going to set it up with this. Donald Trump talking about Hamas yesterday.
The Hamas situation where they're pretty violent people, I would say. Yeah. That we could put that out in 2 minutes. We're giving them a chance. They agreed that they'd be very good, very straight. They wouldn't be killing people, and they have killed people. Yeah. That wasn't the deal we made. But if they don't honor the deal, they'll be taken care of very quickly. But I'd rather not have to do that. No. But we have total peace in the Middle East. We have levels of friendship with everybody, and every countries that hated each other now love each other.
Yeah. So Hamas is doing the old FAFO, which has become quite popular. It's bleep around and find out. And that's going to be the official theme song of this administration now. This is Jim Gossett as the president on the Rob Carson
Show. Portland, I said in the guard, Antifa, they are gonna hit you hard. The Democrat mayor's getting in my way. Go ahead, punks, and make my day. F around and find out. F around and find out. Schumer's gonna find out. I mean business and I'll get my way. Pencil neck and Chris Ray, for your crimes you will pay. You have both been found out. Hope you get a lengthy prison stay. Listen up, Hamas, I am warning you. Break the ceasefire and you'll be through. Democrats, hang your head in shame. For the shutdown, you're gonna get the blame. F around and find out. Mess around and find out. F around and find out. In the end, I'm gonna win the day.
There you go. That is brand new from Jim Gossett.
Find out.
Come on now, F around and find out. That's the new theme song for this administration after 10 years of nonsense from the left, 10 years of attacks, 10 years of caterwauling and temper tantrums. Do it, please. F around and find out on all of this. Anyway, welcome to the show. We've got a lot of stuff happening. Doug Burns going to join us to talk about John Brennan's indictment. Yeah, he bleeped around and found out, didn't he? Yeah, that's coming up. And this, my friends, is the Rob Carson Show.
How do you solve a problem like Antifa? A terrorist group, that is what they are. I'm gonna solve this problem called Antifa. They have gone too far. The Democrats, they support Antifa. Their reign of terror they try to deny. claim that Soros doesn't fund Antifa, but that's a big fat lie. We are coming after you, Antifa, in towns like Portland where you terrorize. National Guard will help to fight Antifa. They'll cut it down to size. How do you solve a problem like Antifa? They are a hate group in most people's eyes. I am sending troops to Memphis, Tennessee, 'cause it looks like Memphis could use some help from me. The mayor has done nothing to put criminals away. Memphis needs our help, and they need it there today. The city's run by Democrats who defunded police. They can't do their jobs or maintain the peace. I'm sending in the Guard. Memphis needs it bad. Their mayor, Paul Young, that guy's really sad. Voted the most dangerous place in the USA. Wouldn't want to live there. Wouldn't want to stay. Sending in the Guard. That goal, it was mine. Democrats in Memphis, listen to them whine. Newsmax.com/listen for details.
I'd love to meet with them. I just want them to open up the country first. You know, the country is so hot right now, and they've never voted against, continuation. They've never voted against. They've never done that. They're doing this because they have Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. But I would love to meet. I would like to meet with both of them. But I set one little caveat. I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open. The people want to go back to work. They want to be served. They need the services of some people. And a lot of people need the money, the payroll. Yeah. So I'll do it as soon as they open up the country. I'd like to meet them.
Yeah, but see, the Democrat Party wants people to suffer because they think that Donald Trump will get the blame for it, and they don't care. They don't care if people suffer. They don't care if people miss their house payments or their car payments or whatever. They just don't care. All that matters to them is that Donald Trump is blamed for it. And it really is a disgusting, disgusting way to govern. But this is how the Democrat Party is. This is why they're in their death spiral to hell. That's what I call it. And you know what? I'm right. So there you go. Here is Senator Heinrich. Talking about the government shutdown. Now, Donald Trump has the opportunity to pay some government employees, like the military and whatnot. But this guy says, no, don't do that. And he says it's because it would be unfair. What it is he wants the misery to be spread completely. He doesn't want some people to be happy.
Some Republicans, Senator, have pushed a bill that would pay
Wolf Blitzer.
Government workers who have not been furloughed as part of the government shutdown. Those who have been furloughed would still be without pay. Is this something you would support?
I'm not going to pit some of my government employees against other.
Nobody would do that. Nobody'd go, oh, you're getting paid, we hate you.
Government employees. I think that just gives the president more leverage to really.
No, you want everyone to suffer. That's what you're doing.
Make the situation worse and treat some government employees with incredible disdain. We've already seen a lot of government employees fired during the shutdown.
Yeah, I know. You guys did that because now Trump can shrink the size of the government, you morons.
Who didn't need to be fired.
Yeah, they did because they were non-essential, and they were probably hired when Joe Biden increased the size of the federal government by 60%.
This is an administration that's very hostile to government employees. I have a lot of those folks in my state, and I'm not going to turn my back on any of them.
I would say that refusing all of them their pay is pretty hostile. Again, this is, and then by the way, it's kind of a metaphor for socialism. It's equal misery. It's never equal success. It's equal misery. It's bringing down the boats of these people up here to this level, so everybody's equally miserable, not bringing people up. That's just the way socialism is. But you know what? They're so stupid. They wouldn't know that. They wouldn't know that. So, here's Donald Trump giving Chuck Schumer a little what for. I just love this. And this is one of the great things, the master classes in I guess throwing shade is what Donald Trump does really well. He does it so beautifully. And it's not name calling. It's actually true because Chuck Schumer his career is over.
But I would say he would be the leader of the party. It's not Schumer. Schumer's shot. He's shot. This poor guy, I feel sorry for him. I've known him for a long time, but I think he's mentally gone. He's been beat up by Young.
He looks like a gargoyle with osteoporosis.
Radical lunatics. And I think Chuck Schumer he's gonzo. I really do. I think he's probably not going to run.
No.
It shows that he's losing in every poll. Now, this is hard. He wants to meet with me. It's sort of hard to meet with a guy after I make a statement like that, but I'm just giving you the facts. I think Chuck is probably finished. I know some people, Democrats, that would be good. Some good politicians and some, reasonable people.
Yeah, I know.
But I understand that they would not have a chance of, getting even the concept of...
Yeah, because the Democrat Party is in a death spiral to hell. That's the reason why somebody with common sense is going to take over. Hey, you know what? I got some good news. Let's do some good news.
We love to win. Winning, so much winning. It's lots of winning. Lots of winning. It's oh so good.
Yeah, the economy is absolutely kicking some butt. Here is Donald Trump with some of the good news.
Gasoline prices are way down. Grocery prices are way down. Energy prices are way down. Mortgage rates are down. We have a real stiff at the Federal Reserve. I can't help that.
It's true, yeah.
But he's going to be leaving soon. And inflation has been defeated. But even though his rates are too high, the economy has been amazing.
Yep. We'd have an even better economy if we didn't have a tool in charge of the Federal Reserve keeping the interest rates high intentionally. He brought them down when Joe Biden was running for president, although Joe Biden doesn't remember that because his brain is gone. So there is that. Yesterday on George Stephanopoulos. No, this was Sunday, I'm assuming. George Stephanopoulos had the CEO from Walmart on, and he wanted to tell the CEO of Walmart, that things are absolutely terrible. And the economy, let me find it here real quick. I think it's not the bite I want. So let me grab it here real quick. I run all my own audio. That's what I do. I'm the only person who does it. Here is George Stephanopoulos going after the CEO of Walmart, trying to convince the CEO of Walmart that everything is terrible with Donald Trump as the president, even though inflation is flat. It doubled during Joe Biden's administration. Here's the exchange, and it's brilliant.
Thanksgiving first. Food prices are up, especially turkey. So what are you doing to help customers keep the cost down?
Well, good morning, George. It's great to see you. We are really...
George Stephanopoulos hasn't been and shopped at a grocery store in 25 years, maybe 30 years. He has no friggin' clue. He lives in Georgetown, for God's sake. Yeah, he lived in a town that has his first name, probably because he has an ego about it.
Excited about what we have planned for this year at Thanksgiving, and I can't believe it's already that time of year, but this is a time of year when people are busy. They don't want to sacrifice quality, and we want to do all we can to help them celebrate the holiday any way they want, and we want to do it in a way that's very...
Don't you do that with those those packages you do for Thanksgiving with the meal that's already pre-prepared and everything? That's got to be real expensive now, right?
Affordable with a lot of value. So I want to talk about a couple things with the Thanksgiving basket.
Yes.
First, we started putting together this idea of having the entire basket easy to purchase, easy to assemble back in 2022. Yeah. And this year, we will have the best prices on this basket we've had since the program started. Wait,
hold on. The economy's going to hell in a handbasket, and Donald Trump is destroying the country.
We're down about 25% from last year, down about $14 for the basket, which puts us...
Joe Biden deserves to be on Mount Rushmore. How could you say that?
In a position where this basket is just under $4 a person when serving 10 people.
Whoa.
So we have a great basket that has a mix of our great brand.
That sounds like something to be thankful for.
And like Butterball turkeys. Our turkey prices, George, are all the way back to what they were in 2019 at 97 cents.
Well, wasn't Donald Trump the president then?
Pounds. So we're really excited about the progress. I was really impressed when the team brought me this. It was better than I expected. So we're looking forward to a great holiday season, and we want to help people celebrate any way they want and do it at a great Walmart price.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So the price of everything is down, and $17 trillion of new manufacturing's coming back to the United States, and prescription drug prices are down, and we're going to start making drugs here in the country. Not meth in trailer parks in Arkansas. No actual prescription drugs going to be made here. I mean, there's so much good you just can't even imagine. But the left is trying to act like it's terrible, and it's not working. The lies, you can't make the lies big enough to cover up the goodness. Sorry. Sucks to be you, don't it? Yeah. Doug Burns coming up to talk about Jim Jordan referring John Brennan to the DOJ for criminal prosecution. Oh, my God, happy days. Another thing to be thankful for coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. Forget fresh olive oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted T.J. Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
To the town of Portland I sent in the guard. Antifa, they are gonna hit you hard. To Democrat mayors getting in my way. Go ahead, punks, and make my day. F around and find out. F around and find out. Schumer's gonna find out. I mean business and I'll get my way. Pencil neck and Chris Ray. For your crimes you will pay. You have both been found out. Hope you get a lengthy prison stay. Listen up, Hamas, I am warning you. Break the ceasefire and you'll be through. Democrats, hang your head in shame. For the shutdown, you're gonna get the blame. F around and find out. Mess around and find out. F around and find out. In the end, I'm gonna win the day. Find out.
On street protesters, we've had our fill, but Randy Fine has a bill, says move them on over. Run them all over protesters blocking all our roads. The thump bill is what it's called. I'm sure the left will be appalled, but move them on over. Run them all over. Step on the gas if they won't step aside. Sure, it might leave a dent, but make them a hood ornament. Run them all over. Thump them all over. If they block our streets, they'll get what they deserve. Arizona and Corona, all the lies about them they've been telling you. How did they win it, the freaking Senate, when the votes that they received were very few? Don't catch the stupid, don't buy their BS, that climate change is real, inflation's not. Don't catch the stupid, don't believe them, because distraction and diversion's all they got. We all know that Hurricane Ian was the result of global warming. Russian collusion led to confusion. January 6th is a smokescreen. The new Green Deal is a disguise steal, like their mandate forcing you to take vaccine. Don't catch the stupid, you just can't do it. That in women's sports, men should compete. They're teaching sex ed in kindergarten. Their destructive policies we must defeat. Like wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Statues have fallen, it's so appalling to ignore Hunter's laptop and his theft. Don't catch the stupid, reject their nonsense. Everything is stupid on the left.
But you're definitely not supposed to lie when you're under oath in front of the United States Congress. And it looks like that's exactly what John Brennan did. And one of the individuals he lied to is the host of the Matt Gaetz Show. When you asked him, I thought a great question about the dossier, and he said, I had no involvement with the dossier. He told the committee that he didn't want the dossier in any way referenced in the intelligence community assessment. But guess what? Tulsi Gabbard released the classified version. She declassified the HPSI report. And it says just the opposite. It says Brennan was up to his eyeballs with the dossier, that he actually put in writing he wanted it in the report. Yeah. And the best one was when another CIA official came to Mr. Brennan and said, Mr. Brennan, there's no intelligence to support the dossier. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be in this report. He says, but doesn't it ring true? Which I think got to his motive. He was out to get the president, put it in the report that they took up to President Trump when he was President-elect Trump in January of 2017 and shared with him. They were out to get him. And so based on your good questions, we got him, I think, lying to Congress. And so that's why we don't do many of these referrals. It's got to be there. But it sure looks like it was, and that's why we're sending it to the Justice Department.
There you go. That is Jim Jordan talking about a criminal referral for John Brennan, who is a scumbag supreme. That's what I'll just call him, a scumbag supreme. The guy was obviously political apparatchik, is about as evil as they come. And to talk about this, because he's much more knowledgeable about this stuff than I am, is Doug Burns from Doug Burns Law, former federal prosecutor, and he joins us on the Newsmax Hotline. How are you today, sir? So, is he in some hot agua?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he, you might find this interesting coming out of my mouth. Of all the players in what we'll just very reasonably call the deep state effort and conspiracy to undermine Donald Trump at all costs, misusing levers of power, misusing institutions of our government, misusing both the justice process and the intelligence process. Of all the players in it, I find Brennan to be the most reprehensible of all of them. Yeah. Don't ask me why. Although you can ask me why. I watched the guy on and on cable segments, holier than thou, sanctimonious, lecturing everybody, pontificating. But the reality is, I'm looking down because I have in front of me the 6-page letter from Jim Jordan to Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and then I have another synthesis sheet. And basically, you know, while the left, of course, will try to make it, you know, complicated and obfuscatory, it's very, very, very simple, okay? He falsely denied that the CIA relied on the dossier in drafting their post-2016 election intelligence community assessment, ICA. He falsely denied that under oath on May 11th of 2023 before Congress, and he told the committee with a straight face, I'll add that editorial, that the CIA opposed including the dossier information in that report. Both of those are just flat out lies. Not complicated. Not complicated.
Is he going to be in trouble for the letter getting the CIA and other deep staters signing about Hunter Biden's laptop? Do you suppose that this is just the beginning of some other things that will come out? Do you have any idea?
There was a trick in that letter, which I'll explain by reference to something that I always found really, really funny, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. There was an article one time years ago about writing bulletproof legal proof recommendation letters. Seriously, somebody says, Rob, Mr. Carson, can you write me a recommendation letter? I'm leaving the station, you know, and I'm trying for another job. So you would write, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm pleased to say that they are a former employee. You will be fortunate to get them to work for you. And the point is, all jokes aside, these are double-edged phrases that could mean, you know, I'm pleased to say that they no longer work here. You get my point. In that letter, that 51 letter, which was a disgrace, they left, and I've discussed this with you before, they said that the thing had all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. So they were smart to put that wiggle room in there. Had they said it is clearly or plainly or definitely Russian disinformation, that would have been a different legal thing. Now, morally, the public is entitled to be outraged by it, and I'm glad they are, because they know it was really, really sleazy beyond. It has all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. And by the way, if you pull out the cable clips, you may see them having slipped and said more aggressively without the earmark wiggle room in there. You know, you have to look at some of the videos. But the point is, that one's less likely to result in liability. But I'll tell you right now, just to double back to what we started with, I mean, you know, falsely denying that the CIA relied on the dossier, telling the committee the CIA didn't want to put that in there. I mean, they got them dead to rights on that.
Unbelievable. You've also got, I heard the other day, you know, we talked the other day about the Bolton classified documents case, and I've heard people say that he could spend the rest of his life in prison because of this, because not only was he sharing this information via AOL. Who the hell uses AOL with his wife and his daughter, but also that it was hacked by the Iranians? That's espionage. What do you think? I mean, do you think? Oh, and by the way, you got some of these judges who've been handed these cases, including the same Obama-appointed judge who blocked President Trump's travel ban ruled that against Elon Musk and Doge, gutted safeguards for chemical abortions. Judge Theodore Huang has now been assigned to oversee the John Bolton case. So is this jackass going to try and is he going to tinker with this? And should he should he recuse himself?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, and we've seen this play out over and over and over. It just happened the other day. We were discussing, I think, the Portland thing. You know, how a district judge is blocking the use of the National Guard. And then lo and behold, later in the day, boom, I see on the sites that an appeals court, the Ninth Circuit of all courts, very liberal, upheld it 2-1. So the point is, the appellate courts right now, not to be corny, are playing a huge, huge role in all of this Trump separation of powers nonsense, I'm going to call it. You know, looking at it from 30,000 feet, we've discussed this. When you lost the House, the Senate, the White House, and the Supreme Court, obviously their only last frontier is to try to run to individual district courts and have them go out of their lane and start making policy determinations as opposed to legal rulings. And this is what it is. But the appellate courts have been cutting it back. Now, you raised a really good point, which is that this is really sort of inside baseball, practical and real world, and that is, having tried a lot of cases, who the judge is and what their orientation is can play a big, big role.
Of course.
However, in the Bolton case, though, it's going to be pretty hard, even for a judge who subliminally or even more overtly is against the case. It's going to be hard to tap dance around the obvious, which is, as you said, he's using AOL. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No disrespect to AOL, but at the highest levels of government, you would think they would be using a heck of a lot more secured stuff than that. He's sharing it with his wife and his daughter. He gets hacked.
Yeah.
Okay? And the guy's beyond arrogant. You made the key point, $1 million point the other day. You said basically that they never thought that Trump would get reelected.
Of course.
1,000% right. And that's largely why they behaved the way they did, Rob.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've got a few more things that I want to cover with you, including the Justice Department scrutinizing a trip Fani Willis took with her boyfriend to the Bahamas. It was a work trip. Yeah. And then also Donald Trump is going to get hundreds of millions of dollars from the federal government for its investigations and persecutions of him. If you could hold on, Doug, I'd love to cover those on the other side of the break. Sound good?
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCVM.
Coming up, a little more Doug Burns. I want to tell you something, though. So every day I get some of this crap in my mailbox. I got something the other day. I won't say where it's from. Beverly somebody. Payment failed, final notice. This is your final reminder. Unsolved accounts will be automatically locked until billing is updated. If you've already updated, no further action is required. Well, what this is phishing. They're trying to convince me that I missed a bill, and they're trying to get me to send, update my credit card information so they can steal it. That's what they're trying to do. And I'm smart enough to know that this is bullcrap. which is kind of nice. Sometimes, though, they're very clever, and sometimes they get by you, and then sometimes you get screwed over. That's why I go with webroot.com, Webroot Total Protection. WebRoot Total Protection, a real-time antivirus protection against emerging threats like malware, ransomware, phishing, with a PH, by the way. That's what that is. Firewall and network monitor, web threat detects and blocks malicious websites before you can visit them, password manager to protect logins and passwords, which is nice because I'm so dang tired of creating passwords. Oh, my Lord, it's unbelievable. You've got family protection, includes toddlers, students, and seniors and other dependents. Up to $1 million in expense reimbursement for stolen funds and out of cost due to identity theft. Oh, my God, are you kidding me? This is what you get. This is what you get. You got it. Okay, write this down. Oh, no, just go to your browser right now. Type in this, webroot.com/Carson, webroot.com/Carson. You're going to save 60%. When you see how much it's going to cost you for a year, you're going to go, no way. No, it costs about as much as Netflix costs for a month. It's ridiculous. And you can protect more than VPN for 5 or 10 devices. Select your connection from 80 locations, 65 countries. Oh, my goodness. Just go to webroot.com/Carson and 60% off for a very limited time. Do that. Do that, okay? Doug Burns. So Donald Trump acknowledged to reporters that he's seeking hundreds of millions of dollars in compensation from the federal government after all of the bullcrap persecutions of him. I want to ask this question. There's a possibility to get $230 million. He says he's going to do something nice with it, maybe give it to charity, whatever. But do you suppose if he does get a settlement, this would open the people in the DOJ to more scrutiny and possible indictments?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that one, you got to be objective and you got to call it like it is. In other words, he's the head of the Justice Department, a point conveniently forgotten, obviously, by the left when they rail on and on about how he took an action in a case. What are you talking about? The Attorney General of the United States reports directly to the president.
Yeah.
So the point is, he'd be settling the case with himself.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But again, that's not the end of the discussion. He could turn around and recuse himself, and have other officials, take the mantle on the matter. But again, I have zero hesitancy in predicting that once again, and I happen to love this about the president, he does these type of maneuvers just to put it out there, and it creates just amazing sort of, he head fakes the crap out of the left side media who gets all over their ski tips. And you'll be hearing that exact argument I just said. He can't settle the case with himself. And then B, he doesn't do it. He walks away and he just makes them look that much more foolish.
So we got a couple of things seeking damage for a number of purported violations of his rights, including the special investigation into Russia collusion, which was bullcrap, and then also the raid on Mar-a-Lago. The raid on Mar-a-Lago as well. It's the second claim accused Merrick Garland, then Attorney General Christopher Wray, then FBI Director, and Jack Smith, the special counsel, investigating Mr. Trump at the time of harassment intended to sway the electoral outcome. This malicious prosecution led President Trump to spend tens of millions of dollars defending the case and his reputation. So
when the history books are written, it'll be crystal clear. Obviously, what I said earlier, just repeating my concept, which is that, while we always had political dirty tricks, political fighting, going all the way back to like 1800, Thomas Jefferson, Adams, never before had we seen the weaponization of something like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which, after all, gives you the ability to say, this is the FBI saying this. That's the whole basis of the misuse of it. So there's just no question. I mean, you have the book, The Russia Hoax. It lays out the whole thing. And the bottom line is that this was just totally disgraceful. As far as the raid on Mar-a-Lago, another, nerd law point, which I have to make, and that is it was completely and totally outrageous. I called somebody who had been Associate Deputy Attorney General. That's the person who's, right under the DAG. And I said, I'm not trying to be cute, but what if some agents came into your office back in the day and said they wanted to search Kenny Bunkport? What would you have said? He said, get the F out of my office. So that was completely absurd what they did.
Yeah, I know.
But legally, that won't get anywhere because all you need is probable cause to do a warrant. But the point is, it violated every norm known to mankind. All you need to do is a subpoena. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to do it at the level of a search warrant. So again, the bottom line is, when we ruminate about all of this, it's just remarkable that the American public saw through the whole lawfare thing. It really is amazing.
Yeah, it is, and there's going to be hell to pay. Justice Department, we've got about another minute. Justice Department scrutinizes a trip Fani Willis took to the Bahamas. She went on supposedly a training session with the Vera Cosa Group, a company that employs former prosecutors and others, training and consulting prosecutors, offices around the country. She went down there. She met her boyfriend down there. We know that she was removed from the case, the supposed election fraud case. Donald Trump was trying to turn over the election results in Georgia, which is a bunch of crap. What do you think is going to come from this?
First of all, her case was among the most idiotic cases I've ever seen in 40 years. Absolutely retarded. You got RICO charges. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Racketeering, which is used for organized crime, drug dealing, and so forth. Yeah. Then she had the whole thing with the boyfriend. And by the way, while we're on the topic of lying, she flat out lied through her teeth about when the relationship started.
I know.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, she should clearly be disbarred. I mean, is she still in office? I don't even know that.
Yeah. When that was happening, I said when they were looking for people to go after Donald Trump, you had to decide what came first, the stupid or the corrupt. With her, I think it was an even race.
It's a tie. That's a tie.
Right? All right. Hey,
tie goes to the runner, Robert.
Thank you. They broke the tape at the same time, stupid and corrupt. Doug Burns, thanks for joining me, man. Have a glorious rest of your week, all right?
Thanks for having me on. Talk to you soon.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All righty, let's look at who is streaming. How's streaming? Over there on YouTube, Moon Shadow with an ellipses. Why the shadow between? Why the ellipses between moon and shadow? I use that a lot in my punctuation. It's a sign of intelligence. Alan Pirro says, "I love your show." Well, Alan, I don't know you, but I love you right back. There you go. Ram Vet 5048. Happy birthday, Rob. Thank you. It's a birthday. What the hell? It's a birthday. Honestly, I refuse to. I mean, a lot of people would be freaked out at 6-0. 6-0. It's just, there's nothing you can do about it. Frickin' just live your life and feel good. I think I'm looking pretty good for my age. Here, I'll show you a picture. Been working out since I got sober. Got about 800 workouts under my belt. Spent a lot of time at the gym. Here, I'll show you. Just the other day, let me show you. Because you know what? I refuse to field my age and act my age. That's the things that I do not want to do. I do not want to feel my age or act my age. Here's the picture. There's the gym. This is a couple months ago. I've gotten bigger. So anyway, I was talking to Mike Carter of Newsmax, who's about half my age. Well, he's probably 40. And he was like, "Damn, man, how do you do that?" I say, turmeric. It works really well. Kathy, hello. She says I'm looking good. Kathy, what's your number? Just kidding. Samira, they got a new one over there on Facebook. Samira, haven't seen you before. Samira Rose, good to see you. Rumley Roo, Dookie Bear, we've declared it your day. Okay, it's Rob Carson Day. What the hell? Round a Pony, Rob knows all about corn since he's from Iowa. Oh, I know corn. Hell yeah. I know all sorts of soybeans, corn. I've shoveled every kind of crap. I have shoveled every kind of crap known to mankind. Thank you very much. Oh, it's time for me to do a show.
Yeah, about 3:20.
3:20. Rage Against the Machine. They're a Gen X band. I'm a Gen Xer. And they're awesome. Sometimes their music is not spot on politically. They say some things that are rather inflammatory and incorrect politically and historically. But, they're musicians. They do that, right? They just do that. We were talking about how George Stephanopoulos tried to get the chairman of Walmart, the owner of Walmart, or whatever, the CEO, to say that, our grocery prices are terrible and life's going to hell. And he said, no, man. He goes, things are 25% cheaper than they were last year. And Victor Davis Hanson has some thoughts on that.
Yeah, the CEO is basically saying, George, we had 20 to 30% inflation under Biden, and now we've done all we can under a new administration, and it's working, and it's declining, and we're back to almost Trump's first term.
Now, the interesting thing here, I came up with the expression, the Democrat Party is in a death spiral to hell. Okay, that's the copyright, Rob Carson. Death spiral to hell. Dying like movie vampires. But Victor Davis Hanson has a different way to put it. He'll get it in a second.
So that was pretty damning. They're in a doom loop, Laura. The primary people that are running...
They're in a doom loop. He calls it a doom loop. I call it a descent spiral into hell. So, somewhere, maybe it's a doom loop spiraling into hell.
And they know that they have to oppose Trump in every aspect on crime, on the border, that are very popular, what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that gets them nominated, but then that very act of coming out against Trump and shutting down the government, that loses you in the general election.
It does.
And so they don't really...
They think they're going to win the midterms.
They have a formula. You can get... Sometimes a party goes very radical, and they can win... They put these primary candidates, and then they can do well in the general election if you have a charismatic Obama or Bill Clinton, and they're on the wrong side of the issues. But they don't have any charismatic leaders or any politicians that are skilled, at least that they would nominate, and they're on the wrong side of the issues, and the primary system is going to ensure that this lunatic base is the center of gravity in the party. So I don't know how they're going to get out of it unless they get another big defeat in 2028 or maybe even in the midterm. And they're in a doom loop.
Yeah, they're in a doom loop. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about KJP. She was out doing the rounds for her stupid book that nobody is buying, and some of the nonsense she's saying about Joe Biden being a really good human being. My God, are you kidding me? Sicking the federal government on traditional Catholics and school board parents. He's an evil SOB. There's no lying about that. And then also, what was No Kings about? Was it a trial run for a civil war and a deposition of Donald Trump? Yeah, Mike Benz shared that. It's coming up in the second hour of the show. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide.
Real news for real people.
blah, 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 blah. This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2 on this Wednesday. It's my birthday. I'll just say it. I'm not expecting anything. Thank you very much. Although the streamers on Rumble said that it's officially Rob Carson Day in America, so that I'll go with that. Rob Carson, happy Rob Carson Day, everybody. We still got to get it through Congress officially to make it official. I don't think we're going to get a lot of Democrats to sign along on that one. We will never get through the House on. Anyway, welcome to the show. Please come inside. We got a lot of things to get to, including Corinne Jean-Pierre out trying to. She is Renfield. She is Dracula's Renfield. She is the woman who rose Joe Biden out of his casket every day to assume the duties of president. Sure, whatever. Actually, just stand there and do nothing, and then go to bed. But anyway, she's Renfield. I'm using that as kind of a Halloween reference because that's what he was. You got the old Dracula who's been alive hundreds of years, and the only way that Renfield exists is to go out to the press conference and make it sound like Dracula's still alive or something. I don't even know. But she's written this book. She's left the Democrat Party now. And now she's out with this book about, how she was so disappointed the Democrat Party abandoned Joe Biden because he was fine, which, again, is like being Renfield for Dracula. She's running cover for the guy who's obviously cognitively not able to be the president, and that's why she's taking care of Renfield, or taking care of Dracula. But anyway, here is Corinne Jean-Pierre talking to Stephen Colbert about what a great job that Joe Biden did as a president. Even though every metric of quality of life in America plummeted into the crap hole, everything fell into the crap hole. The price of used cars effectively over 50%. Right now, you can't get a used car under $27,000. That's the average price for a used car. You cannot get a good used car under $15,000. I know this because I sold them, all right? A combination of things happened there. You had the cash for clunkers, which was an idiotic thing that ruined a lot of good cars. And then, of course, Joe Biden, the supply chain, all the other bullcrap, price of interest rates, all of that. Anyway, so the price of groceries doubling, the price of homes doubling, and the interest rates tripling. Everything sucked under Joe Biden. I can't tell you how many times in 4 years I met people in their 70s who came out of retirement to work themselves to death. I know this was this kind of little market that I lived near in Kansas City. It catered to the Hispanic population because you can buy cool produce and stuff there, like cactus. It's weird. And there were 70-year-old women there, even 80 years old, working themselves to death. 2 of them died in the 4 years that I was there. I'm like, where's Sarah? Or where's whoever? Oh yeah, she passed away. Oh, okay. Well, and then I would ask them before they passed away, why are you doing this? Well, I can't afford to. The groceries and everything are so expensive. My rent is through the ceiling. And I'm like, well, son of a gun. But here's Corinne Jean-Pierre Renfield, Dracula's Renfield, on Colbert saying he did a great job.
The man that I saw nearly every day was someone who was engaging, understood policy.
Oh, my God.
And was always putting the American people first.
But it takes more than that to be the president of the United States.
I saw every day a really ugly assault on.
Do you need some more victims?
Someone who had 50-plus years of experience and
did nothing but enrich himself and his family to the tune of $25 million from communist China alone.
Who, again, objectively had done a good job.
27 LLCs with his... No. Was it 27? I think 27 LLCs where money from communist China went to family members, even children who aren't old enough to have a bank account.
As president of the United States. And it was heartbreaking to see that type of behavior.
Yeah, honestly, Renfield. How could you say that? Here's Byron Donalds proving that Joe Biden's a scumbag.
515,000 since President Trump was inaugurated second time around. 1.6 million have self-deported, which means you're looking at close to 2 million people out of the country. I didn't realize the numbers were that big.
Yeah, I mean, look, Stu, the president wasn't playing games. He was telling the American people the truth. We're going to send a lot of people home.
Yay.
Criminal illegal aliens, they're going home. They're not staying in the United States Furthermore, the people who have
how'd they get here?
Chosen to self-deport, that actually makes a lot of sense. They were let in because Joe Biden opened up our borders recklessly. He was using parole and these other schemes that Democrats fully support. It has been overwhelming to local districts, local cities, local counties, and states.
Well, that doesn't sound like a good and decent thing to do.
So these numbers are indicative of the change in policy that Donald Trump promised the American people and the American people voted for.
Yeah, that was one of the many things he did that was just terrible. And what happened because of that? What happened? Here's a report, actually. This is going to be from Fox. The great and wonderful Joe Biden, who was so benevolent and kind, allowed hundreds of thousands of children to be trafficked for sex and labor.
22,000 unaccompanied children have been found so far under this Trump administration. 27 of the minors were found dead, either murdered or by suicide, car accident, or drug overdoses. And more than 400
Grandpa Joe, that isn't very nice.
Sponsors have been arrested.
We're talking about debt bondage, where children are being made to work off debt, trafficking debt. We're talking about children that were brought into situations and then treated like sexual slaves.
In early 2021, record number of children became crossing the border. According to HHS, between 2021 to 2024, more than 470,000 unaccompanied children crossed into the United States. Records show that many of these children were released to sponsors under very lax vetting policies.
I would say that doesn't make you a good and decent man as the President of the United States. I would say it makes you an evil SOB.
What do you think people would be surprised of when it comes to the lack of screening?
Well, under the last administration, there was a severe lack of screening. There was no DNA testing to see if there was a familial connection. Children were...
It was an all-you-can whatever buffet for pedophiles.
Released to people that said they were their parents who were not. And in many cases, the data is horrible. What the Biden administration was taking in and actually putting into our computer systems was not the right information. So now we have to draw that all back in and deeply investigate into where some of these children were.
And under the Trump administration, sponsors now have to get DNA tested, they have to get fingerprinted, and show proof of income that they could...
Yeah, Joe Biden was a scumbag, terrible president. What an awful, awful human being. Here she is talking about how competent Joe Biden is.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. That is not a question that we should be even asking.
He's the new 40. Didn't you hear? The president doesn't need a cognitive test. That is not my assessment. He is as sharp as ever. The president is clear-eyed, and he is staying in the...
Yeah, everybody knows he wasn't. Dear God, we're not stupid. We're not stupid. Here she is contradicting herself now versus when she was the press secretary.
She is one of the main culprits of the greatest cover-up in...
No, that's Caroline Levitt. I'll get to that one. Here she is contradicting herself. We'll get to Caroline Levitt coming over the top rope to hit Karine Jean-Pierre in the head with a folding chair.
He was aging, right? And we saw that. There were moments where it showed that he was no one is denying that. He is as sharp as ever, as I have known him to be in my engagement and my experience with him. And I know when I walk into the Oval Office or see him on Air Force One, I have to be on...
Is this after you put him to bed in his casket full of dirt during the day?
Top of my game. I do. I mean... And that's just kind of my engagement with him.
Yeah, this is why nobody's going to buy your stupid book. Dear God. Here comes Caroline Levitt.
She is one of the main culprits of the greatest cover-up and scandal in American history. She took the podium every day and lied to the press about the incompetence of her boss. Yeah. And on this book tour, she continues to lie. She said this past week that Joe Biden would still be up for the job if he had, God forbid, been reelected in November. She actually said this week as well on a podcast.
Yeah, the guy with terminal cancer. Why isn't everybody talking about his terminal cancer? He's the greatest president, got the most votes, got 81 million votes. He's supposed to go on Mount Rushmore. You'd think people would actually be worried about him, you know? But no.
That Joe Biden did more press engagements than President Trump currently does now. Any person across the aisle can tell you that is a bald-faced lie. Not only does the president take questions from the press on a near daily basis, multiple times per day, as he did today, but we also provide truthful and accurate information information about what this administration is doing and accomplishing. And it's a stark contrast to what they had over the past 4 years, where they were gaslit, where they were told Joe Biden was mentally stable and up for the job. That was a lie. Where they were told the administration was doing everything it could to secure the border. Also a lie. I'm very proud to work for the greatest president in history. I know Karine unfortunately worked for the most incompetent president.
Yeah, most incompetent and most corrupt. And when she wasn't lying, this is what Karine Jean-Pierre would say to the press.
I don't have anything. 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 I just don't have anything. I don't have anything. We don't have anything. I just don't have anything. Don't have anything. So I don't have anything. 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 Just don't have anything. I just don't have anything. I don't have anything. Again, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. So I don't have anything. Don't have anything. I don't have anything. I just don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect, actually, that Joe Biden was the worst, most corrupt president in the history of the United States. And he was. There's no doubt about it. You can deny it all you want. You can sit in your fluffed crowds with The View and Stephen Colbert, all shows that are going to be disappearing soon. And you can pretend like he was a great president, but everybody knows he was awful, awful human being. Did nothing in his 50-year tenure as a public servant but enrich himself. He paid $2 million in cash for a house, for God's sake. How do you do that? Lunchbox Joe. What a friggin' joke. Let's take a break and come back. I think that'd be a good idea. This is The Rob Carson Show.
poor little Democrats. Are you guys okay today? I came in to check on you. Every time Trump does something good, you guys spaz out. Would you guys shut up and let him work?
I'm going to tell you right now, to anyone who's watching, President Biden was one of the most decent people that I know.
Thank you, Renfield.
And he literally woke up every morning wanting to make this country
dear God, please.
better for the American
Then why did he make it suck so badly?
people. And whatever view that you may have of him, treating him the way that he was treated in those 3 weeks was awful.
It's because he had pretty advanced dementia. Oh, you can't say that. Yeah, I just did.
It was deplorable. Hey. And it was something that I just had never...
He was a good and decent person. He was a good person.
We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving America than the MAGA Republicans are destroying America. The MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security. They're a threat to our very democracy. They refuse to accept the will of the people. You and 81 million Americans voted to save our democracy. Donald Trump isn't just a former president. He is a defeated former...
Yeah, good and decent presidents don't go to Independence Hall, claim it for your party, and then call the opposition and half of America MAGA fascists and enemies of democracy. You filthy, rotten old man. And you know it really means something if you actually remembered a damned thing about what you did. Here's some a little montage. I've got montages out the wazoo. My God in heaven. This is a montage of many lies that Joe Biden told.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Sounds to most folks like a crisis. Well, look, it's way down now. We've now gotten control.
No.
Are you committed to making sure that the troops stay until every American who wants to be out is out?
Yes.
This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
I had the great honor of meeting him.
No, you didn't.
I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN
No,
ambassador
that's a lie.
on the streets of Soweto,
It's a lie.
trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
Total lie.
The various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to.
Oh, yeah. Scumbag supreme. That's all. I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm just so done. Done with you defending this jackass. And he made our lives miserable. I lived in flyover country. Dear God, 6 years ago, I was on food stamps. I lost my damned house. Ridiculous. And then had to endure, selling cars when Joe Biden was the president. Watched the price of used cars go through the ceiling. Watched the inventory plummet. It was impossible. Impossible. Then groceries were doubled in price. What a ridiculous charade that Renfield is pulling. Of course, Corinne Jean-Pierre is Renfield. Joe Biden, Dracula. Hey, you lucked out due to overwhelming demand for free silver from Birch Gold. They've extended the current promotion through Veterans Day, November the 11th. Guess what? I've got the coin right here. If you're watching and you're streaming, you can see it. It's pretty cool. You buy gold, you get free silver, which happens to be surging in price for every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold. By Veterans Day, Birch Gold will send you a free 1-ounce patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. There it is. See it? Look at that. Hold on. The little shiny there. There you go. See them? See them there? Okay. For you guys who are just listening, you'll just have to imagine. I'll have to. It's round and it's silver. See, you kind of painted the picture in your head there. Gold is up 60% since the beginning of the year. Do I need to say it? Gold is up 60% since the beginning of this year. I just texted my name, Rob, to 9898898 this morning because I have some money and I am going to buy some more gold. Yeah. I'm not big and rich like, Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck, but I'm working on it. So anyway, Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA and physical gold. Plus, they'll send you free silver honoring our veterans. And if you're a current or former military member, Birch Gold is waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. Oh, yeah, I know. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for a free info kit. Claim your eligibility for free silver with a purchase before November the 11th, okay? Do that if you would. So the Democrats are caterwauling about this redoing the ballroom. And by the way, presidents have been bugging about this for a while because we didn't have a ballroom. You had to do stuff outside in tents, And Donald Trump said, you know what, we'll get together some leaders of business who have money, and they will commit to building this thing and paying for it because, they've enjoyed the bounty of, being in America, building your business. And they said, hey, man, we'll help out. Hell yeah. And the Democrats can only complain about it.
What you're alluding to is kind of what struck me. A ballroom.
This is from the Harpies from Hell. God darn it. The View. It sounds just like Harpies from Hell. Sorry about that. This is from The View.
It's a symbol of excess and opulence. And we're living in a time where those optics just are flying in the face of the reality of the majority of this country.
You mean like the crap show that Joe Biden's economy was?
When you look up, he won on making cost of living better, but inflation's up 3%. Yeah. 74% of Americans say they've seen household prices increase by at least $100. The unemployment...
Not even close to Joe Biden's presidency when in the second year the inflation was 9%. UHFHs. That's Harpies from Hell. Here is Caroline Levitt defending the ballroom because honestly, it doesn't matter. It's necessary, and this glorious ballroom is going to be around longer than the View's cast is going to be for sure.
And I believe there's a lot of fake outrage right now because nearly every single president who has lived in this beautiful White House behind me has made modernizations and renovations of their own. And in fact, presidents for decades in the modern time have quipped about how they wish they had a larger event space here at the White House that can hold hundreds more.
And Lord knows, Donald Trump likes to hold, he likes to have big balls.
People than the current East Room and State Dining Rooms can.
Some of the biggest balls we've seen at the White House in a long time.
In fact, President Obama notably complained that during his tenure, he had to hold a state visit on the South Lawn and get
His balls weren't very big compared to Donald Trump's.
Very expensive tent.
A lot more people come to Donald Trump's.
If you talk to journalists who have covered the White House for decades, as I do here every single day, they will also tell you that administration after administration have publicly and privately spoken about the need for a larger event space. So while many presidents have privately dreamt about this, it's President Trump who is actually...
Lord knows Barack Obama dreamt about
doing something about it. And he is the builder-in-chief. In large part, he was reelected back to this people's house because he's good at building things. He has done it his entire life, his entire career. And construction is a process at the end. The East Wing, which is an entirely separate structure from the executive mansion you see behind me, will be more modern and beautiful than ever. And then on top of that, the White House is going to have a big, beautiful ballroom.
Yeah, and this is what he does because he's a real estate developer. He's built beautiful buildings and everything, and he lives in the White House, and he's going to do it right. So honestly, your argument, again, is specious and ridiculous. Coming up, Kaitlin Bennett, co-founder of Liberty Hangout. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson, not proud member of the 4 a.m. club. You know what that is? Well, that's the time that I usually wake up every night and can't get back to sleep. Then I found Beam's Dream Powder. Now, Beam's Dream Powder is made with a powerful blend of all natural ingredients, including reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. It's designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling amazing. And unlike other sleep aids, there's no next day grogginess, just great restful sleep. Plus, Dream tastes incredible, and it's become a part of my nightly routine. Simple, easy, effective. Dream is made right here in America, supporting jobs, quality, and the principles we stand for in America. Thank you very much. Beam is going to give my listeners the ultimate Patriot discount, up to 40%. Try their best-selling Dream Powder. Get up to 40% off for a limited time. So with my discount code Newsmax, you can get their best-selling Dream Powder for just $39. Go to shopbeam.com/Newsmax. That's shopbeam.com/Newsmax. Again, use the code Newsmax at checkout. That's beam.com/Newsmax and use code word Newsmax for up to 40% off.
It's the FBI Puppet Show with our special guest star, Christopher Wray! Yay! The FBI screw up, promote election theft. They do Joe Biden's bidding cause they're puppets for the left. They targeted Donald Trump. Durham's report will show the FBI is crooked and these puppets need to go. Comey and Lisa Page, her boyfriend Peter Strzok. Russian collusion garbage from these puppets was a crock. Why were there no indictments? They found a smoking gun. They covered up for Sleepy Joe and his crooked son. It's time that we clean house, disband the FBI. It's time that they're all fired. Why were they ever hired? It's time that they're all fired from the most deplorable, oh so horrible, quite immoral, unadorable FBI is Biden's puppet show.
The FBI says Democrats got ballots from China. The CCP are dirty rats, sending ballots from China. Fake driver's licenses the Chinese supply to cheat in 2020 can't be denied. Cash Patel produced the proof. China helped steal it. He's about to raise the roof. I can't just feel it. Democrats, they are nervous, and they ought to be. If you got ballots from China, should not go free.
Letitia James is gonna be in trouble. The FBI is looking at her loan. They just launched a new investigation. The name Letitia gave was not her own. I hope they nail her, jail her, send her to the slammer. She should be fired, retired for all the laws she broke. Letitia James is through, you know it's true. I'll be excited when she's indicted. Letitia's gonna get handcuffed and I think I like it. I'll be delighted when she's indicted. I know that she's guilty. Letitia's going down. She'll be run out of town.
Twice, period. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. I'm playing that today because, you know, the Democrats are complaining about the ballroom that Donald Trump is building because, you know, that's what he does. I mean, honestly, you couldn't think of a better. But Donald Trump would have been hired had he not been the president to do the ballroom. One of his companies would have built it because that's what he does. And the Democrat Party has found something else to whine about. They're so pathetic. My God in heaven. Do you just have to be contrarian about every damn thing? Well, of course you do, because you're in the middle of a death spiral to hell. It is remarkable. One of my favorite people on the interweb is Kaitlin Bennett. She does this, I would say man on the street, but it's woman on the street stuff. And she goes out in a non-confrontational fashion to leftist rallies and whatnot and makes brilliant points without inflaming things and without people dropping F-bombs and all of that. And she joins us on the Newsmax Hotline. She's also the founder of Liberty Hangout. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's so nice to be back on.
It's great to have you on. I got to play a little audio of you at a recent leftist gathering about Charlie Kirk. Listen.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you be glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
What, if she would die?
I don't know.
Excuse me?
No, I don't know you, but I didn't know him either. But he was not a good person.
He would go to college campuses?
And
he would go to...
think he got shot because he wasn't a good person.
Wow.
I do the exact same thing that he does.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, Martin Luther King Jr., you know, what? You know, I mean, he obviously was murdered because he wasn't a good person. Honestly, my God. I don't know how you do it, Kaitlin. I don't know how you confront people like that and your blood pressure doesn't go through the ceiling.
Well, you know, I usually am pretty good about just keeping my cool, and I smile at these people. It really actually gets under their skin if you just smile at their anger. That was one of the first times in recent, memory for me, since I got back to doing this after having children, that I was genuinely angry and disgusted, and I was upset because to have someone not only cheer his assassination, but then say they'd be happy if that were to happen to me too. I've just never heard someone just say that to my face.
It is. This is the same sort of mania that happened in Nazi Germany. It really is, and then they try to project it on us. But this is the mania that they've done to conservatives what the Germans did to the Jews. It's a perfect parallel, by the way.
What's interesting, and I think everybody needs to, the takeaway here is that woman is someone that you would pass in the grocery store. She'd be next to you eating at a restaurant. She would be coming to the local parade, the Christmas party, all of this stuff. Just normal, everyday people. She looked like a normal old lady. Yeah. But she actually hates people who think like Charlie Kirk. She would celebrate if you died. If you died, she'd be okay with it, and you would just pass her shopping in the grocery store. And that's concerning.
It's beyond concerning. There is some interesting things. There are some things happening. Kash Patel says that the agency, the FBI, is on the verge of unmasking the funding and command structure behind Antifa. There is a very complex web of people behind this. We found out that dozens of pro-communist, pro-socialism, pro-violence organizations were behind the No Kings protest, which was based on nothing, by the way. There's no hint any way, shape, or form that Donald Trump is a king. This has been allowed to fester and grow over a decade. They've been able to use words like fascist and Nazi to the point that people like that behave that way, or the words fascist have been inscribed on the shell casings in the murders of children in Minneapolis and on the shell casing of the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk. It is remarkable. Are you hopeful? Because I'm hopeful. I think all of this is coming down. I think they've reached their zenith. I think the class of 1968 is in its death throes. They're still very dangerous, but are you optimistic?
I am optimistic. I think Trump really dropped the ball his first term because he promised all these things about cracking down on left-wing terrorism, and it really didn't happen. But now it seems like he's surrounded himself and filled his cabinet with people who are just as or super loyal to him. They've got the right mission. They've got the right perspective, and they're very strong people who are not afraid of what the media says to them. So I think he's got the right people in place to make this happen, and I do think that something will happen. And if it doesn't, that will be one of the downfalls of that we will remember during his second term.
I heard Mike Benz talking about why No Kings was, and I kind of hinted that it was a trial run at Civil War. And then I realized that the left has been waging a civil war with a proxy army that's well-funded. It has soldiers like Antifa. And also, it allows the Democrats to use the same language to incite violence with their language and have plausible deniability. What they were hoping to do with the No Kings rally was make it appear that the opinions against Donald Trump and his policies were so overwhelming that he should be driven out of office. They want him to. That's exactly what the hell they were doing, right, Kaitlin?
Yes, and when I talked to them, they all told me that one of the reasons they were out there is because Trump was arresting people for protesting, and they were taking away their First Amendment rights. And I would just look at them and I'd say, you're protesting right now. What are you talking about? Yeah. They had no clue what they were even protesting. No clue. No. None of them knew the definition of fascism. None of them could tell me how he was a dictator. It was very frustrating. But what I feel like the majority of what they're trying to do is rally people and keep them hyped up for the midterms to try and keep that momentum going. Well,
it's not going to work. It didn't change any opinions, and everybody saw through this, the No Kings protest. But you think about it, the January the 6th, that was where 1 million people, they didn't even bother posting the pictures of the crowd. There was 1 million people to protest an obviously rigged election. They censored our speech. They didn't allow Donald Trump to post a video saying go home peacefully. They put 250 or 274 FBI agents in the crowd. They had Antifa in the crowd. They left the rally with grappling hooks and black masks, and they went to the Capitol. No Trump supporter dresses like Antifa. So they went after that protest. They went after parents protesting CRT and radical LGBTQIA, STUWXYZ in schools. It is so patently ridiculous that they say that Donald Trump is going after protesting when they did it and they called our speech disinformation. It's just preposterous.
It's very preposterous. And when I would counter that with them and I'd say, well, do kings usually, or dictators usually allow themselves to be censored off of social media for 4 years?
No.
Well, no. And I'm like, okay, then, what are you talking about? This man has been censored in ways Hitler would never allow himself to be censored.
I don't have patience for this nonsense anymore, Kaitlin. I've said that conservative comedy is on the ascension because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. And so what I'm using is mockery, ridicule, and satire to make fun of these clowns because they can't be taken seriously anymore. Kaitlin, can you hold on for the next break?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're talking to Kaitlin Bennett. She's a rock star, founder of Liberty Hangout. Go to Twitter at Liberty Hangout. We'll continue with this conversation on the other side of break, and this is The Rob Carson Show. Donald Trump theme song. You'll understand why.
To the town of Portland I said in the guard, Antifa, they are gonna hit you hard. The Democrat mayor's getting in my way. Go ahead, punks, and make my day. F around and find out. F around and find out. Schumer's gonna find out. I mean business and I'll get my way. Pencil neck and Chris Ray.
Come on.
For your crimes you will pay. You have both been found out. Hope you get a lengthy prison stay. Listen up, Hamas, I am warning you. Break the ceasefire and you'll be through. Democrats, hang your head in shame. For the shutdown, you gonna get the blame.
Yeah.
F around and find out.
Come on, mess with us.
Mess around and find out.
Bring it.
F around and find out. In the end, I'm gonna win. Win the day.
There you go. That is a brand new theme song.
Find out.
Jim Gossett has the president. Kaitlin Bennett, founder of Liberty Hangout, is hanging out with me right now. I think that's the perfect slogan for the Trump administration right now. Just bring it. Just bring it, right?
Absolutely. Just go ahead. We would all love to find out. They could help us find out, on their behalf. So go ahead and do it.
I swear to God. There's this article, I think this was from Gateway Pundit, Civil War, Trump administration to establish National Guard response force to be mobilized for mass civil unrest in April 2026. This is the last dying throes of the class of 1968. I'm not sure if they will have the ability to mobilize if the FBI is going after, but clearly they are planning on something. Wouldn't you agree?
That's interesting. I have not read that article.
Yep.
But they keep having these well-funded protests.
Yep.
It makes you wonder what exactly is their point. And most people might not know that's listening here that they actually have one major protest a month from the 5051 protest organization group.
Yes.
They have one major one every month, but it seems like every 4 to 5 months now, it has been one super well-funded protest.
Yes.
I know because I keep track of what they're doing, and I go to their monthly big protest.
Yeah, and they are, and I said this when Kamala Harris was announced as the candidate, and I laughed out loud, and I said there's no way she's going to win, and I was right. But I said that her constituency are crazy cul-de-sac dwelling cat ladies, white, now we know largely senior citizens, and the emasculated men in their lives. And then there are the sundry radical, leftists, Antifa members, and young women who are very confused with purple hair, engaged ears, and stuff like that. But largely elderly, angry boomers and their emasculated husbands. Is that what you've noticed?
100%.
Yeah.
I am usually the youngest person at these events, and I just turned 30 a week ago, and so I am the youngest person at 30 years old at these rallies, at these protests, and I don't know if that's a good thing for them.
Yeah, by the way, I loved turning 30 so much, I did it twice, and today I actually make it twice. It's kind of weird. But I don't act.
It's your birthday today?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I'll give you my address so you can send me a gift later.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm optimistic because I think this is falling flat. They've been throwing this temper tantrum, and by the way, the No Kings was a temper tantrum because we lost. That's it. Because they lost, they are throwing a temper tantrum, and they think that wishing it to happen will work. They tried the same thing with that idiotic joy movement. Remember that? The Democrat National Convention that by the way was it was a joke compared to the RNC. The RNC was pro wrestling meets P.T. Barnum meets faith. It just totally kicked ass. And the Democrats come along with their idiot candidate and Oprah Winfrey and all this. You can't take our joy around. Well, how about being joyous in the first place, you morons? So it's just as fake. It's just as fake, and it's going to fail.
Well, Rob, the thing is, at every single protest I go to, every single week with these people, when it says that their protest is going to end, they end. They do not stay later than the time on the flyer. When it is from 10 to 12, 12 o'clock, they are done, and they scurry like ants. It makes you wonder, they're not working overtime.
No.
They're not going to work. They're not going to work past their paycheck.
I mean, there is no better gauge of whether someone is being paid to do something than them knocking off and going home.
Yes, exactly. They're fighting fascism. They've got 2 hours to dedicate. No more than 2 hours will they spend fighting this Hitler, Nazi, fascist regime. That's how you know how unserious these people are. Who says that we have a dictator Nazi in the presidency, but then goes home and like watches Oprah or has a cinnamon roll or takes a nap?
And you know, I mean, Kaitlin, I mean, when did Elon Musk not become a Nazi anymore? I mean, he was a Nazi. He was for sure a Nazi. My God, could you even imagine buying a car? For God's sake, those protests caused people to trade their Teslas in and vandalize Teslas and attack people in Teslas and all of that. And then, I guess he's not a Nazi anymore because he decided to leave Doge.
Well, you know, it's whoever tells them from the top, probably Soros and their group of who sends this information from the top down.
Yep.
And I get their emails.
Oh.
It is crazy the things that they're sending to just normal everyday people
Yeah.
to go and protest and the talking points they give them.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's why I'm so well versed in what they believe in, because I'm reading it.
No, you're doing a great job, Kaitlin. I really enjoy your videos. I like to share them on the radio. I even love it even more when you're on the show. Kaitlin Bennett, founder of Liberty Hangout. Go to Liberty Hangout on Twitter. Anywhere else people can find your glorious work?
My YouTube channel, I just reached 1 million followers a couple days ago, or 1 million subscribers. So that's where all of my long-form content is, Liberty Hangout.
Yeah, well, you know, you could give me a birthday present by getting me that kind of following. That'd be great.
I'll send them to you.
All right, take care of yourself. We appreciate you. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. I got to get her to post the show today on her YouTube channel. Ken, do me a favor. Isolate the interview, and I'll send it to Kaitlin Bennett. Serious. Let's do it. All right, little insider baseball there. Dookie Bear. Hello, Dookie Bear. Good to see you. You're talking about laundry. I have the doors for our laundry room, and it's been 5 years since they were purchased. What are we talking about here? We're talking about home improvement projects here? You know, it's weird. It's weird to go from 15 loads of laundry a week to 1. It's even weirder to go from 2 or 3 dishwasher cycles every day to 1 every 3 days. It's kind of weird. That's the way it was when I was living with the family. I don't miss that. I don't miss that. But I do miss some other things. Obviously. BO5. You guys want to talking about home improvement here? What the hell? You got over on Rumble, that's funny. I stapled the curtains in our bedroom because they were too long. My wife blew a gasket. No, you do that. Nobody's going to notice staples at the bottom of, hell, I've done that with pants. America Camarcy is over there on the YouTube with Mick Hastings and Desert Dog 1977. Desert Dog. Yeah. Woo! How you doing? Dank F. Dank F. I don't even know what it is. Jesus say unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto... Nice. I have no problem with quoting scripture. It's amazing stuff. They said a lot of smart things way back when. A lot of people are saying stupid crap now. Let's see, Facebook. Hold on, let me check where we are here on the break. A little bit further here on the break. John Truitt is watching over there on the Facebook. Good to see you today there, John. Appreciate you. Share it with others. Brian Duffy as well. Glad to see you there. Dale Arsenault as well. Always good to see you watching over there on the Facebook channel. Here we go.
We have about 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So for the first time ever, we did a full cash analysis of every single one of the No Kings partners and official organizers. I mean, that's close to 200 organizations. And what we found was kind of shocking numbers. We didn't think that this would be, the numbers would be this high. But we chose the Soros, of course, Open Society Network. We chose the Arabella Funding Network, which gets a ton of money from Soros and Gates and Zuckerberg and others. Tides. and several others, including some of the foreign funding networks like Neville Roy Singham. And yeah, it was $294 million. That's according to the most recent IRS 990 forms. We went through.
All fake. All fake. This is why you're a No Kings movement. And all of you idiots who went down to the No Kings just because you want to be a part of something. I have friends who went down, like, take their kids in strollers. I'm like, you people are just stupid. Honestly, you're just so stupid. Go get a dang life. You lost the election. How about working on trying to win the next one, for God's sake? Swear to God. I do have, this is in, and this is for real. This is a Gateway Pundit. That's not a credible news source. Yeah, it is. They do a better job than the friggin' Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. New memo is unearthed showing the Trump administration preparing to mobilize National Guard troops across the nation April 2026 to stop potential uprisings amid the nationwide No Kings protests and violent anti-ICE protests in cities. Yeah, that's what they're planning on doing. That's what the left is planning on doing. They can't win the election. They can't win on things. So they're going to get violent. They're going to do a de facto civil war. And I hope that the U.S. government kicks their asses into the ground. Yeah, because honestly, sick of this crap. Sick of it. National Guard Response Force, NGRF, which will be used for crowd control, civil disturbances, operations in all state territories. Units of up to 500 troops will be trained to fully deploy within 24 hours. They'll be trained and equipped with non-lethal weapons, including taser, capsaicin spray, and whatnot. The memo reads, states will train, equip, and make NGRFs operational April 2026. NGRFs are required in all 50 states and territories. NGRFs will train in civil disturbance operation and prepare to deploy approximately 25% of the force in 8 hours, 50% of the force in 12 hours. That's what they did in L.A. They were going to burn the country this summer in Los Angeles, but Donald Trump sent in the National Guard and C-blocked them. And C-blocked them. Coming up, one of my favorites, Lindy Li, political commentator, used to be a Democrat, but the Democrats are so stupid and extreme. She said, nah, I don't think so. That's coming up in the third hour of the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. It is already Wednesday. I'm going to a little to-do in Washington, D.C. tonight with my friend John Fredericks. John Fredericks is a great guy. He owns a bunch of radio stations, and he has put me on those radio stations. I owe him a great deal. He's an amazing man. He is an amazingly driven individual. He followed Donald Trump around with an RV through his entire campaign, and now he rents an apartment on Capitol Hill. There is nobody, I think, who works harder than John Fredericks, and he is really awesome, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with him this evening. And it's just so cool to live here. I do miss my family. I miss my dogs and my kids. But it is an amazing place to live. It's remarkable. So I'll take pictures and share on social for you. Sound good? Sound good? Yeah, it sounds good. Oh, let's see what we got here. This is interesting. A significant number of Americans are falling behind on their car payments. An economic warning sign. Let me explain why this is a misleading headline. Okay? Key group of American borrowers falling significantly behind on their car loans. It's yet another sign the U.S. economy is forming some serious cracks, leaving the most vulnerable in financial distress. The percentage of subprime borrowers, those with credit scores below 670, who are at least 60 days late on their car loans, has doubled since 2021 to 6.34%. That's worse than during the past three recessions. Now, America's current subprime delinquency rate is the second highest since the early 90s, the only time higher. This past January, cars were being repossessed at the highest rate since the Great Depression. Now, why was that? Because Joe Biden caused the price of used cars to go through the ceiling. The supply chain crisis caused by COVID from a country that created the virus that we paid for, and Joe Biden just kind of miraculously just appeared, in an election year. Joe Biden also caused interest rates to triple while he was the president, you see. So you had a combination of record car prices, high interest rates, combined with other inflationary pressures, sent auto payments to record levels while Joe Biden was the president. The average, I believe the average car payment is $740 now. Although the financial stress on subprime car buyers has stabilized in 2025 after large increases in late payments and repossessions over the last 2 years. Those whose cars have been or are about to be repossessed, which stood at 10% in September. That's down a year ago. It's down from a year ago, but still above the long-term average. Here's the deal. People had to buy a car at at a higher price and a higher interest rate during the Joe Biden administration. Frequently, this is the case with people with low credit scores because you have to pay a higher interest rate. That's why it's important to have a good credit rating, credit score, because if you're below 670, you're going to be paying, depending on how bad it is, 12, 14, 15, 16% on a car loan. And when you're buying a car that costs $40,000, that's adding $200, maybe more to your car payment every damn month. Just over half of new car leases and more than 3/4 of new car loans made in the second quarter had monthly payments of $500 or more. 46% of used car loans have payments of $500 or above. You can't buy anything for under $500 a month as far as a used car that's reliable. If you might be able to buy something on Facebook. Trust me, I know this. I sold cars. I never thought it would be meaningful. You know what I learned from selling cars? Well, what I'm doing right here, and how to back a car in very professionally into a parking space without using the cameras. I'm damn good at that. Oh, my God, I'm good at that. I can back you in. Oh, my God. For new car loans, more than 17% have payments more than $1,000. And repair costs have surged because people are holding on to their cars longer rather than buying a new one. And as I said yesterday, the slogan that I came up with was 50,000 is the new 35,000, but now it's actually 55,000 is the new 35,000. The car that you bought for 35,000 when Donald Trump was the president last time, you can't get for $55,000. I drive a truck that the sticker is about $50,000. Now, I never dreamed I would have a car that cost $50,000. I've never had a payment over $400 in my life. Ever. And what I did was, the cars that I bought for myself, I gave to the kids, paid them off, they're done. I still have Buck the Bronco. I'm going to keep him forever. But I never would have dreamed of that. But guess what? That's average now. My truck's 3 years old. $50,000 is now mid-range. It's mid-range, $50,000. Your new Tundra, $85,000. New F-150. You try a Raptor, $120,000. F-250, $100,000. I mean, stupid. And of course, the EVs are even worse. That's just the way it is. Donald Trump really pissed some people off yesterday because he was out there, and he was tearing down the old part of the West Wing that's going because he's building this glorious ballroom, not using taxpayer money, and it's going to be around. It's going to be historic. It's going to be awesome. It's paid for by companies that are living the American dream, who want to help out and want to have their names as a part of history. It's going to be around longer than all of us. Generations down the road, 200 years from now, are going to go, oh my goodness, remember that President Donald Trump, the one they added to Mount Rushmore in 2028 or 2029, whatever. Remember that guy, the greatest president in the history of the world, in the history of the country, Donald Trump, that guy? Yeah. He built this ballroom, and here's Donald Trump yesterday. The left is screeching about it. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Shut up. But anyway, here is Donald Trump talking about the glorious smell of destruction and demolition, and then Josh Hawley's response to the idiots on the left.
You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh. That's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it. It's the opposite.
I love this, that, it's history being destroyed. History, these are the people who for the last 4 years have torn down every statue of this country's history they can get their hands on. George Washington tore it down. Thomas Jefferson tore it down. Theodore Roosevelt tore it down. Christopher Columbus, we were told, was an oppressor and tore it down. And now suddenly they're the great defenders of history. Give me a break. They hate Donald Trump. They hate everything he does. The fact the president is doing this on his own dime, Laura. I saw it today. It looks fantastic. I'm delighted he's doing it, and I love seeing these liberals melt
I can't wait. I'm going to get into that ballroom, by the way. I may be waiting tables, but I am going to get into that ballroom. I'm going to be invited because I'll be bartending. Or so anybody, I'm going to be there. I am definitely going to be there. Here is Donald Trump talking about his project, and generally his projects are on time and built well. Obama's library, not so much, because he's making sure to hire DEI contractors, and it's way over budget. It's beyond over budget. It's even more over budget than the high-speed rail in California.
They're also building the Obama Presidential Library. I'm wondering if you've seen pictures of the architecture and what do you think
I did. It's not too pretty.
Looks like one of those sand crawlers from Star Wars. What was it? It wasn't the Ewoks. It was the sand people coming out with the droids.
It's closed. It's stopped.
Just need some tracks on it.
They ran out of money. Means building a library / museum.
All you geeks are like, oh my God, Rob Carson is so cool.
They call it some museum, and usually they call it library and museum. That's the official name.
Don't forget gift shop.
And they're stuck. And he
was selling some Michelle Obama dumbbells there.
Wanted only women and DEI to build it. Well, that's what they got. And the construction workers are standing out there and saying, we want to be able to build it. You have I built a great building in Chicago, as you know, a big, beautiful building, one of the tallest buildings in the country. And we got it built very quickly, very well. And we used the construction workers of Chicago. They're great workers. They're great construction people. And I suggest that you get them involved, but they're hundreds of millions of dollars over budget, and I think it stopped. I'm reading these terrible stories, but that's the way our country was run under President Obama, too.
Yeah, that is true. This is
President Obama. He's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster.
Donald says it's a major eyesore. But you can bet I won't forget who my library's for. It's all about me. It's all about me. My massive ego makes me who I am.
You'll only hear comedy like that here.
Folks are afraid that they'll be displaced.
Clay and Buck don't do comedy like this.
Afraid the places they live will soon be erased.
only here.
It's all about me. It's all about me. A self-absorbed man, I'm my own biggest fan. It's all about me.
Beautiful.
It's all about me.
There you go. That is Jim Gossett. If you want to help him out, go to patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. Patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. If you give him like $10 a month, which he would greatly appreciate, you will get like 2 songs every day. He sent me 2 today. He sent me the F Around and Find Out parody, which is just friggin' brilliant today. And that, which is just brilliant today. And again, you're not going to hear it anywhere else. We're the only show. We're the only conservative show in America that has leading edge opinion and uses comedy as a tool. That's what I did for Rush Limbaugh. That's what we're doing now. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
%, that's what Kimmel's lost since they put him back on the air. The morons at ABC were too blind to see that about Kimmel no one cares. 85% in a key demo. That is what Kimmel lost. Why do they keep him around? To keep losing ground. Still air him no matter what the cost. Sinclair must feel real stupid now. Next star still with regret. 71% wonder where they went. On Kimmel's failure you can bet.
Disney stock was $197 a share in March of 2021. Now it's $122 a share.
Disney must be in panic mode. They'd pull this show if they could. Why did they bring him back? This a funny hack. Suspension should have been for good.
Rent free. In libs' heads I'm living. The fits I am giving to Whoopi, Sonny, and Joy. Rent free, I'm occupying. Rosie is lying if she says I'm not in her head. They simply can't do it. When you get down to it, they have TDS real bad. Hatred, just watch it as it spreads. Because inside their heads I live.
We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday. We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday.
It's one of my favorite songs to get going in the morning. I love music. I love music. Music is very important to me, more important than it's ever been in my life. I get inspired by it every single day. Every single day, for goodness sakes. And I discover new music every day. I don't just listen to the stuff that I listened to in high school. I'm trying to think of a song. 6th Avenue Heartache by the Wallflowers. I heard that the other day. It sounded so good. 6th Avenue Heartache. There's just a lot of good music out there. I jam on it, especially when I go to the gym. That's one of the times that I like to listen the most. Have a Spotify playlist. Maybe I should post it. I don't know. Do you ever notice that, like, Greg Gutfeld? I remember he used to post his playlist, and his music taste is just, he's an aging hipster. He's got that East Coast aging hipster, thinks that these odd name bands are really great, and they're really not. They just kind of suck. He's just that way. Like, it's unlistenable stuff, man. What do we got here? Kash Patel is investigating the funding and command and control of Antifa and whatnot. As I mentioned earlier, the federal government is preparing for mass civil unrest in April of 2026. They're going to try stuff next year. It's not going to work because this is going to be defunded. All of this nonsense is going to collapse on its own, under its own weight and corruption. John Solomon delivered a speech. I love me some John Solomon, and he actually, this makes sense. He explained why Joe Biden, the DHS, the deep state, the Democrats, created disinformation just like Joseph Stalin did.
One of the tactics of the government, of the Biden administration, to weaken the American experience by letting in people with ill intentions into this country by the millions.
Yep.
The war began as a war on truth. We were told not to believe our eyes. We were told not to believe our Constitution.
Yes.
We were told to believe the border was secure when it was obviously not. We were told that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation and Donald Trump was a Russian stooge of Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
Neither was true. The war began against truth. We were told that a man could become a woman, even though science tells us that's not possible.
No.
The war against truth was created so that if you could erase those early truths, that a border was insecure or secure when it wasn't, or that a man could become a woman, the ultimate goal was to eradicate that truth that we were endowed with from our maker with these inalienable rights, and then they would take those rights away, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. That was the goal. I've seen the playbook. I've reported on some of the Soros documents and the other nonprofit liberal documents, but that has been the goal.
100%. I believe if you were listening to this show the last 5 years, you'd say, oh yeah, that's what Rob said. So there you go. Kind of cool. Here is, we find it here. I wanted to play Alex Marlowe. No, I don't want to play Alex Marlowe. I want to play Mike Benz. Hold on one second. Where is my Mike Benz? Here's Mike Benz. Mike Benz, he's a friggin' amazing investigative reporter talking about No King's Day. What was No King's Day all about? I told you the Democrat Party has been using words of war, not a war of words, words of war. They've been using a proxy army that is well-funded by people like George Soros to burn American cities, besiege courthouses in 2020 and all of this. There's a body count. There is a casualty count. There is massive damages and all of this. And they do it with plausible deniability. What did they want to do on No King's Day?
The end goal of a color revolution is essentially a surrounding of the country's parliament building and the president leaving in a helicopter as the United States recognizes a new government.
This is what they want.
That has the support of the people. And so it's kind of a substitute for a Democratic vote because the sheer size of the mobs shows that the will of the people is not being respected, because look at the million people in the street.
Well, you see, it's not going to work because the movement is fake.
Obviously, the State Department's enemy didn't really win this election because look at all of the people on the streets. They clearly won the election. There are so many of them. This is why they try to gin up the numbers. And
so
Liz,
is it normalizing a coup? Is that what they're doing?
Of course, that's a huge part of it. When you lose the election and you are trying to claim that the president is illegitimate or a tyrant dictator who does not represent the Democratic majority of this is the language you saw. Mehdi Hassan in his speech said, "We are the majority."
No, you're not.
You're the majority.
No.
You lost the popular vote. The first time in 20 years, you lost the popular vote, you lost the Electoral College, you lost the presidency, you lost the House of Representatives, you lost the Senate. It was a clean sweep.
This is why I say they can't lie big enough to cover up this truth. Yeah, it made the election too big to steal. This is Ezra Levin. He's one of the creators of the No Kings, and here he is literally talking about a civil war. This is what they're getting ready for next year.
Jan, it sounds like you might have been in on our planning conversations. That's exactly what we're talking about. There are going to be big protest days, just like we saw on Saturday. That's true. But in between those days, there's going to be regime overreach. And I think the Jimmy Kimmel, Disney, ABC News example is an excellent case in point of how people...
No, it's not actually, because Donald Trump didn't ask the Jimmy Kimmel leave. And by the way, when he came back, people watched him a little bit, and then he lost 70% of his audience in a week.
Power can be applied not just against this administration in the White House, not just against Congress, but against the pillars of democracy, media institutions, businesses,
they're all, the media institutions are toast.
Universities that are getting pressured by this regime. In the Disney case, what we saw was...
Not at all, actually. No, they're not. They're just collapsing because they lied so much.
Regime applied pressure. The institution buckled. The people responded in force.
No, they were bought and paid for.
And then that institution saw that, changed course, and democracy sat up a little bit stiffer. We were a little bit stronger in that moment.
No, bullcrap.
There are going to be more instances exactly like that. So I think using our combined economic power in a rapid...
It's not going to work because, you see, Donald Trump's going after the funding of you communist Marxist pieces of crap.
But response, they do this, we do that, is necessary for creating the...
You're going to go down. This is your death spiral into hell. This is it. This is Azra Nomani. We're going to have her on the show. She's right here from Northern Virginia, and she says it's all theater.
Yeah, I mean, they are basically fueling the machine. And Jason mentioned the 501c4 organizations that are political organizations, allowed to do a limited amount. But according to my data analysis, about 100 of the organizations are 501c3, and they are supposed to do very little political work.
Yeah.
They are absolutely supposed to be nonpartisan.
Yeah.
But some of the names of these groups is literally resist Trump. That's not very subtle there.
No, it's not.
And then build the resistance, along with, as Jason was mentioning, the Party for Socialism and Liberation. They bring the foot soldiers to this movement and create this myth of the...
Yeah, but it's going down in flames. It is going to. I've been right about, I don't know, all of this stuff, and it's fairly obvious. Anybody with common sense knows that this is absolutely fake. It's nonsensical, it's ridiculous, and honestly, we won't be fooled again. Lindy Li is a political commentator, used to be a Democrat. She's really awesome. I love her stuff. She's going to join us on the other side of this break, so if I were you, I would not go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. Forget fresh olive oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted TJ Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
a candidate for governor of California named Betty Yee, Y-E-E, went on Piers Morgan show and said, and I'm quoting, this is what he put out, could be bullshit, but it's probably true. I think transgender female athletes are women athletes and they should be able to compete. California governor runner Betty Yee says she would like to see a gender-neutral Olympics take place in Los Angeles.
Wow.
What bullshit? Okay, and I want to take this, Betty Yee, from the standpoint of somebody that has daughters,
yes,
and somebody that my daughters were never particularly athletic,
yeah,
but I have a lot of friends that have daughters that play soccer, play volleyball, run track, play softball. You know what their parents don't want them doing for good reason? Is competing with males.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, I used to do shot put and discus, and did you realize that the distance for women's and men's records for shot put in the Olympics are very similar, except for the women use an 8-pound shot and the men use a 16-pound shot. How stupid! Oh my God, they're so stupid. Lindy Li is a pundit, is an influencer, I guess, former Democrat, and I follow her frequently because her musings are just excellent. And she joins us on the Newsmax Hotline. Lindy, welcome to the show.
Rob, it's such an honor to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my God. Can you believe this? Dear God in heaven. I'm thinking, and I'd like to say the Democrat Party and the radical left are in their death spiral into hell. But you've still got people saying incredibly stupid crap like, how about a gender-neutral Olympics? People still, who would propose such a thing, Lindy?
Yeah, you know, I don't even have to believe it because I saw that clip and I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. They are in a race to out-socialist, out-DI each other. They're all hurtling towards the bottom. She probably doesn't even believe half the stuff she's saying. She just hears it from her leftist friends and just takes it as gospel, which is very disconcerting.
Well, it's exactly...
I'm Asian as well.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed. Yeah. I'm ashamed.
Well,
okay, we're smarter than that.
I swear to God. But you know the thing... this is exactly what's happening, except for the men competing with women are saying that they're women. And it's the same sort of results. It's the same sort of results. I guess maybe this makes more sense just to say, okay, let's see if women, maybe it's a great way to make the point that women can't compete with men when it comes to speed and strength.
They just need to accept that biological men should not be in girls' sports. This is so hard for them. They see it as a civil rights issue.
Well, what woman is going to sign up? Lindy, what woman is going to sign up to go in the gender, the non, whatever the hell, the Olympics where there's no gender restrictions? It's men versus women. Who is going to sign up for that?
Nobody.
Yeah, because all the medal stands are going to be guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. These people, they take the 20 side of every single 80-20 issue.
This isn't even
every
20.
Single one.
This is 3. This is 1. This is 99-1.
Yeah, exactly. It might be like 98-2.
It's so stupid. Lindy, you used to, and I don't know your full biography. I just know who you've become the last couple of years, and respect, by the way. But you were a Democrat. You were pretty seriously Democrat.
I wouldn't say I was pretty seriously Democrat because if you Google my history, I actually went to war with them about 7 years ago because they were too leftist.
Well, what pushed you, by the way? What was the breaking point when you said, "Yeah, I'm done with this party. It's ridiculous"?
In the middle of the campaign last year before Biden dropped out, I was just like, I can't handle this charade anymore.
I know.
And I went on Fox News Sunday basically exposing them, and that's when blank hit the fan. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here, but yeah, everything went wild afterwards when I told the truth about his cognitive decline.
Which Corinne Jean-Pierre is still denying, by the way. She's saying that he could be the president.
There are two scenarios here. She's either done, with all due respect, or she's lying. And I know her.
Yeah.
I know her.
Yeah. You know what she is? I use this analogy because Halloween's coming up. She is Renfield, and Joe Biden is Dracula. She's her trusting assistant lying to everyone that he is a vampire who sleeps in a casket full of dirt during the day. That's what she is. She's Renfield.
Yeah, but can I add one more thing about that?
Yes,
though?
please.
I don't think she's capable of being that nefarious because I don't think she has intellectual capacity, and I mean that with all respect.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying. This is a very I've worked with her. I've seen this woman for years. So I know what she's like. I don't think she has the capacity to plot or scheme. I think she's just taking talking points. She's not a ringleader. She's not any of that.
Yes,
I know that she's. By the way, if you meet her, she's the nicest person ever.
Of course she is. She's just, the lights are on and there is nobody home.
Exactly.
You're never going to get a cure from cancer out of her. There's nothing.
She's not an Anita Dunn or a Steve Shetty or Mike Donnellan. Those people were the ones running the country. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but Anita Dunn tried to get her fired.
Yeah.
But she couldn't because of DI stuff.
Well, yeah, because she's black and a lesbian.
Your words, not mine. Exactly.
I'm not afraid to say it. It's fairly obvious. She's a DEI hire. Dear God in heaven. Listen, Modern Family does a parody about this. Years ago, they had Cam and the other gay guy, and they were trying to get their daughter into a private school, and they couldn't get the kid in, and all of a sudden, there was a woman in a wheelchair, and there's another woman pushing her. The woman is Asian. They're lesbians, and one of them is handicapped, and so they started lying about who they are. I think Cam started pretending like he's Native American because they didn't check as many boxes. It's very obvious that there's a series of boxes you could check. I don't have any boxes. I'm a white heterosexual male and a conservative. So,
well, I think white men are fantastic. So I just want to say you guys are my favorite demographic.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm kind of, I'm not too, kind of like Asian women too. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk at Lindy though. Let's talk about some other things that are going on in the country. There are the No Kings protests last weekend. I heard Mike Benz talking about.
This is a complete sham, by the way.
Of course it was. And I've said that the Democrat Party of the left have been fighting a proxy civil war with Soldiers for Hire, Antifa, and these other groups. And of course, they are able to use words of war to incite them, and they have plausible deniability. This was a non-destructive movement to show that Donald Trump's policies are somehow so unpopular, he should leave office, he should get in a helicopter and fly off and forsake the office of the White House. That's what they wanted to do.
Absolutely. And by the way, the existence of No Kings protests is in itself an indication that there's no king. And frankly, unfortunately, I was born in an authoritarian regime, okay?
Yes.
So I can tell you what kings are like. This is not like kings. You think Trump would brook any criticism? You know what happens when you dare to even criticize obliquely Xi Jinping?
Yes.
You will get, quote unquote, disappeared.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
That is a real king.
Yeah.
So it's frankly insulting to people like me who escaped kings to say that we have one here.
But they did the same thing. If you are familiar with Maoist tactics, that's what they did. They disappeared us off social media.
They murdered my family in cold blood. I have a lot to say about the Chinese climate.
Good. Let's cover that on the other side of the break. Can you stick around for the next break?
Absolutely, Rob.
Because I want to hear your take on the Maoist. They combined Maoist and Stalinist and Third Reich conventions during Joe Biden's administration to disappear us. We'll cover this on the other side of the break with Lindy Li. This is the Rob Carson Show.
He said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
President Biden believes that Donald Trump could do that.
I mean, yes.
This sounds like Nazi rhetoric. It sounds like fascist rhetoric. It sounds like white supremacist rhetoric.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
And Biden has to get in there very hard and go rapist, racist, fascist.
Half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Yeah, those are the words of war that the Democrat Party has been using for a decade now. And now they're starting to show up on shell casings of people like Charlie Kirk, who was murdered, or Catholic school kids in Minneapolis. This is a civil war with soldiers for hire, hired by people like George Soros, a lot of NGOs, a lot of our tax money too, by the way. Someone who is familiar with some of these tactics, Lindy Li, is on the Newsmax Hotline. You mentioned that your family lived in communist China, so you are quite familiar with disappearing people and some of the... What did you see in the last 4 years when Joe Biden was the president that mirrored what you saw in communist China?
You know what, Rob? I didn't even have to see in anybody else. I could just look at what they did to me. Wow. The way that they excommunicated me, threatened me and my family, tried to dehumanize me, discredit me. They did everything they could to bury me, not realizing that I was a seed. Wow. So I'm now stronger than ever.
I love it.
They tried to destroy me and take me off the map, but I'm not going anywhere.
Tell me about what happened, because listen, you know what happened to me? Because I was, I used to be, I lived in Maryland for a dozen years. All of my friends, I had 12 years here. All of my liberal friends, they loved me. We went to New Year's Eve. I watched their kids grow up, all of this. And then when I became a conservative talk show host and a Trump supporter, when I moved back here, not a peep. These are people who I went through, helped them get through cancer. All of this. I had a woman who called my broadcast mom. She was like another mother to me. When she found out I was a Trump supporter, she didn't even bother to tell me she had terminal cancer and she died without me knowing about it. It's just sick. Oh my God, it is. She died without me knowing about it. And it.
You know what that is, though, Rob? That's Trump derangement syndrome on steroids.
I swear to God. And this is what I've endured. And you know what? I got to tell you, Lindy, I've been through a lot of pain. Politics played a big part in the breakup of my family and why I'm living in Washington, D.C. But
I'm so sorry.
No. Lindy, would you say it's worth it, though? Because I can't live in lie. I can't live a lie. I can't live under tyranny. I can't live a lie. Would you say it's worth it?
Not only was it worth it, it was the best decision of my life.
Yeah.
I'm happier and more fulfilled today than I've ever been in my entire life. I can't even describe it to you.
I know.
This is the ultimate emancipation.
Oh, God, yes.
But Rob, what you said just tugs at my heartstrings because I've been through something similar. I've lost all my friends.
I know.
You know?
I know.
And not only that, I am an officer at Princeton University, which is a liberal institution. By the way, I love Princeton so much. Yeah. They gave me a full ride. Mm-hmm. They changed my life. I was the first woman to be elected class president all 4 years. Wow. But you know what? There's been a movement to kick me out of office as an alumni officer because I'm conservative. I kid you not. I wish I were exaggerating, but this is actually happening.
They're erasing you.
It's a moral stain.
They're erasing you.
Right, but I was duly elected to that position.
I know. You know, I'm the only person in the history of my little school. It's called Northwest Missouri State, has one of the finest communications and broadcasting facilities in the country. I have never been invited to come back to speak. And I have been, when I was a music jock in Washington, D.C., they put me on the cover of the Alumni magazine. But now they will have nothing. They will have nothing to do with me at all. I'm the only person to have a syndicated radio program. Obviously, the most successful broadcast alumni in 35 years. They will have nothing to do with me. And I'm.
You and I should just be friends.
I swear. You know what, girl? I have no problem with that. I love having girlfriends. I prefer the company of women as friends, to be quite honest. And I think we'd get along famously.
That's actually funny because I love men. I trust men much more than, with all due respect to the women out there. I went to an all-girls school, so I'm a bit traumatized, just a little bit.
I know. Women are the guy. If you got a group of women and one woman walks in and she looks really great, they're not going to say, "Oh my God, that outfit is fantastic." They're going to do everything they can to shred her.
Yes, and you know what? They're going to call all the ugly women beautiful. I know how it works.
This is like the No Kings protest. Right?
Yeah,
Right?
They want to see you rise, but you cannot threaten their throne.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap up the interview here. I mean, interview, whatever. You're a guest, and I love having you on the show, and I want to have you on frequently if you don't mind. I enjoy this, and I know the audience does too. But I'm optimistic about the future. I'm optimistic of FBI going after these groups that are doing this, and I think it's falling flat on its face. And I think honestly, and I mentioned this, I said this in an untoward fashion. I said that the No Kings protest would be it would be a fart in a hurricane, and that's what it is. And I don't think it's going to get bigger than this. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? My friend Patrick Bet-David was even saying,
yes,
this is such a lost opportunity. They should have been pushing out a website listing all their grievances against Trump. Yeah. But there was no sense of coordination. Nobody knows what they stand for other than a group of hippies who are completely irrelevant. You looked at who's actually were protesting. They're like, with all due respect, they're like 90 years old.
Yes.
Okay? They're not representative of America.
No.
Most Americans, honestly, they have grandkids and children. They're at the soccer games. They're with their family on the weekends. They're not doing this.
Yeah.
What are they protesting? Are they protesting safer streets in America?
No.
Are they protesting meritocracy when getting a job and applying for school?
No.
Are they protesting stronger borders? What are they still
They're throwing a temper tantrum because they lost. Listen, we got to run, Lindy. I appreciate you so much. Where can people find all of your work on social media?
Thank you. I'm Lindy Li on X and elsewhere. Thank you so much, Rob. I think you're hilarious, and it was such a joy to be with you.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. I just think she's freaking fantastic. Right? Was that good? Oh, my God. Love that. I love that interview. She just, we've had two brilliant young women on the show today. Kaitlin Bennett and Lindy. Wow. Spectacular show today on my birthday. Woo! We got here on the Beck Ottenberry and proud to be a Jew, who's 20 years my junior, by the way. So 20 years my junior. Congratulations. Yay. Over here on the YouTube, we've got Kimberly Wiederhold. Hello, Wiederhold. How are you today? Mickey Hastings also there. Somebody said, somebody was trying to troll me. Rob Carson looks a lot like John Goodman. That's from Confederate Hero. Yeah, throwing shade, honestly. We're smarter than that. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he doesn't look like me, first of all. I don't look at all like him. And the only reason you said that is because John Goodman is, obese, formerly obese, whatever. Kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. And I it's funny. Another thing about being this age is that you just don't get bothered by this stuff. I used to get all sorts of, my feelings hurt when people would criticize me in the media or whatever. And I just don't give a rat's behind, to be quite honest. I really don't care. Oh, I got to come back and talk. Here we go. Nope, not yet. What am I going to talk about next here? Carville, Libs Hate Montage. No, okay, hold on. I'll figure something out here. Nope. Hold on one second. 3:15 is what I have. Kicking ass, chinging that. Oh, yeah, I got to do this. It is the Rob Carson Show. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. Little Godsmack for you. Let's hear some guitar, shall we? Here it comes. And now. Come on. Turn that up. This is what I like. Kind of like my metal. I like a lot of music, but I like my metal. Yeah. Talking to my Lee Kenberg, the head of Newsmax Radio Podcasting. He's got tickets to Rush next year. Rush in concert. Oh, man. They got a new drummer. We'll never replace Neil Peart, but she's friggin' phenomenal. Yeah, a girl, and she kicks butt. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Survivors, first responders, and victims' families of the 9/11 community are disgusted and outraged by Zohran Mamdani's decision to campaign and pose, smiling with a radical imam once named as an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. This SOB can't be the mayor. This should disqualify him. This is the worst thing I've heard. This is worse than Jay Jones saying he wanted to murder his opponent and his children. This man cannot be the friggin' mayor. This man cannot be that he would do this, and that there are still Jews who would, or Catholics who would vote for this SOB, even though he posed with a radical imam who was an unindicted co-conspirator in the bombing of 1993, which was a trial run for 9/11. Are you out of your mind? He cannot be the bloody mayor of New York. New Yorkers, pull your heads out of your butts. All right. You lucked out, by the way, due to overwhelming demand for free silver from Birch Gold. They've extended the current promotion through Veterans Day. Here's the deal. Buy gold, get free silver, which happens to be surging in price. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold by Veterans Day, Birch Gold will send you a free 1-ounce patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. I'm holding it up for you streamers right now. It's a really cool-looking coin. You can see it there. The lights are not flashing. The lights are on, lights are off. Lights are on, lights are off. Anyway, you can get this if you get some information first. Okay, get information first. Gold is up. Sit down for this. Ready? 60% this year. Gold is up 60% this year. Is your IRA or 401k up 60% this year? Are you kidding? Maybe cholesterol is. That's not good. But gold is up 60%. So text my name, Rob, to 989898 for information regarding buying gold from Birch Gold, investing in gold, okay? Rob to 989898. Get your free gold info kit. You're eligible to win. Get free silver with the purchase before November the 11th. But you got to do it. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. I got to tell you, I think today was a hell of a show. Please download the podcast. Please share with others if you would. Go to all your usual podcast platforms. I mean it. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and we're the only show doing this. Comedy, leading edge opinion, great guests, the whole shebang, as it were. God bless you, America's founded Donald Trump, as he continues to kick butt and the Democrats spiral into hell. And until tomorrow, which is Thursday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Hey, Robbie, have a good night.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.